Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you are all doing well. It has been a while, but I have a very special video for you today on the newest release from the House of Argos, and this is Perseus Triumphant. Now, if you don't follow Greek mythology, Perseus is the son of Danae and Zeus, and the slayer of Medusa. So hopefully that's coming through well for you on camera there. Got Medusa's head in his hands. And as always with Argos, the packaging and the artwork on the bottle is just absolutely gorgeous, top notch, 10 out of 10. But just like most of us here, we're most interested in the juice inside the bottle. Now this one, admittedly, is very close to my heart. You guys know I love rose, oud, saffron, and musk fragrances. And this is exactly what that is. Saffron, bergamot, cardamom at the top, rose, leather, atlas cedar, musk, and oud at the base. Very clean. The leather's not overdone. For me personally, I think leather is a very strong note and can definitely overpower a lot of other ingredients in a fragrance. So I'm very happy that in this fragrance, the leather is just in the background. It's not a very heavy component of this fragrance. Now, this is not a first impression video. I actually did give this a good wearing about 2 days ago when I got it in, and you'll see that in my fragrance rotation videos coming up here as I get to posting them. But I really wanted to give this a good wearing before giving my thoughts on it. And one thing about this fragrance that really stands out is the balance of ingredients, because you are using a lot of strong ingredients. Again, leather can be easily overdone. Oud, musk, atlas cedar, even cardamom to a certain extent can be easily overdone. The saffron really shines in this as well. Just very, very high quality. For me, this definitely gives dress-up occasion type of vibes. A lot of that, with any Argos fragrance, you could probably say that. But this, for me, does give a very clean, proper, warm, spicy, kind of masculine dress-up fragrance. And it is not a traditional rose, oud, and saffron fragrance. The rose is not quite as prominent in other rose, oud fragrances. So maybe comparing it to something such as Dasman, or even from the House of Raja Parfums. You could even try to compare it to some of their rose oud fragrances, and it's completely different. It's also completely different from Argos' previous release that has some of these ingredients in there, which is Charon's Veil. Completely different fragrance. Charon's Veil is a lot more resinous, warm, powdery. This is a lot more clean, woody, oud-oriented, I would say. There's a slight understated sweetness in here, which is nice because you still get all the other notes and the warmth and the spice of the saffron. You do get a little bit of that clean, earthy, slightly animalic smell of the oud, the cedar, and the leather kind of mixing together. I think this fragrance is also going to age extremely well. And it's really interesting, Perseus Triumphant, the ingredients in the perfume itself have very good genetics, just like Perseus did with Danae and Zeus as his parents. So for me, this fragrance was always going to be a home run personally because I love this category of fragrances. Again, this is something that if you are a lover of rose, oud, saffron, and musk fragrances, I don't think it's going to be redundant in your collection if you already have some from other houses. It's completely different to anything that I personally have in my collection. And I would say across all the houses from my collection, I probably have 10 to 12 rose, oud, and saffron fragrances from various different companies. And this to me stands out as something that is very clean, very proper, high quality, but it's also wearable. It's something that for me is going to be a year-round fragrance because it's not so overpowering to where you can't wear it in high heat situations. You probably just spray it a little bit lighter. But it's also something that's not going to feel out of place in cold weather because of the oud, leather, cedar, musk. You do get those heavier base notes that are going to go well during that time of year. But for me, this is just an absolutely insane fragrance. In my opinion, it may be some of the best work from the House of Argos so far, which is saying a lot. They are a young company, but they have already done some of my favorite fragrances. You guys know I love Neiman Lion, Danae. Everything they've created has been really good, but particularly Danae, Neiman Lion, Fall of Phaeton, Triumph of Bacchus X Straight. I just bought another full bottle of Brevito Della Caccia because if you remember watching my videos, the 30 ml of Brevito Della Caccia was my introduction to the House of Argos. So when I bought Perseus Triumphant, I also purchased a 100 ml of Brevito Delicacia, so now I can save what's left over of my 30 ml and use it as kind of like a travel bottle, so I don't have to bring the big ones with me. But that should let you know how much I love the House of Argos. Not only did I purchase their newer fragrance, I also repurchased one of the fragrances that was the one to get me into the House of Argos. So even though I already had, I think, probably about 15 to 20 ml left of the 30 ml bottle, Brevito Delicacia really is that good to where I wanted to buy the full 100 ml. And Perseus Triumphant, again, this is something I'm going to be wearing more and more as I got the fragrance in. But I wanted to do a quick review for you guys after wearing it for a full day, after getting it a couple days ago, because I knew a lot of you were interested about this fragrance. And again, if you're a fan of the House of Argos and you're into collecting, obviously this is going to be a must buy. But for my rose, oud, musk, and saffron fans, you got to try this because it is not anything like the other rose, oud, and saffron fragrances that are in our collections. There's nothing that I would really compare this to on the market, and it's easy to compare fragrances that are in similar categories and try to draw comparisons to them if they share similar ingredients, but really it's the blending, the quality of ingredients in here, and for me, it's going to be something that is just an extremely wearable, and also I think it's also going to be a very compliment-oriented fragrance because of that slight understated aromatic sweetness from the cardamom in the rose, as well as that warmth and spice from the saffron. That combined in the top notes with those really deep, rich base notes. And again, they did a great job choosing the oud and the leather. They didn't go barnyard animalic, kind of like they did with Neiman Lion. It was probably never meant to be that type of fragrance, so it was really interesting smelling that and seeing how they chose the oud, especially as someone myself who's been getting more into individual regions of pure oud oils and different age statements of oud oil from different regions. I don't know enough, and I'm not going to pretend to know enough to try to tell you exactly what type of oud they used in here. They may have used a combination of a few ouds. I am confident enough to say they probably did not use any Indian or Hindi ouds because those typically do go very barnyard and animalic. So you could have some Thai oud, maybe some Laotian or Cambodian oud. It's very, very difficult to tell when they're mixed with other ingredients, but I do feel pretty safe in that. It's probably not Indian or Hindi oud in here, probably a little bit more along the line of Thai, Laotian, Cambodian, something along that line. But unbelievable job of blending and then choosing the individual ingredients by Christian Petrovic and his whole team over there. And one thing that still remains true with Argos that really, really resonates, especially with their last 3 releases, because I love Neptune's Trident, La Primavera, very high quality, not my particular personal style, but I still wear it. I bought it, and it's something that actually gets me a ton of compliments. It's definitely more of a green, floral, slightly soapy fragrance. But one thing that stands out with Argos is the quality above quantity. And from the packaging to the customer service, to the artwork on the bottle, to the juice inside the bottle, everything done at Argos is a first-class operation. And you guys know I don't get anything from this. I don't have any links. I don't have any discount codes from them. So I don't get anything from speaking nice about these fragrance companies. I just try to share what I enjoy, what I purchase, and what I find to be good quality for the money. And from my experience buying direct from Argos, you're really not going to get a lot higher fragrances for the money. You know, there's really nobody that does packaging, artwork, and then, you know, creates the juice inside the bottle to the quality of Argos for the money that they're charging. So they're doing a very good job with the logistics of their operations, keeping prices reasonable in the times that we're in. And it's also one of those things to where they're the whole package. You know, the customer service, again, everything about the company. It's something that 5 to 10 years from now, we hope that we can look back and still continue saying that about Argos. But for me, it's been a very good start from them. They're not getting too many releases per year. And, you know, I'll say it over and over again. For me, one thing that really resonates with Argos, it really does seem to be kind of the standard operating procedure over there, is that quality is always going to be above the quantity. They're not really interested in trying to sell a ton of fragrances. They're interested in making a limited amount of quality fragrances and then letting kind of, word of mouth and people's recommendations do the selling for them. I haven't really seen any commercials for Argos. I know they're not really in any larger stores to my knowledge. They may be in some boutiques, here and there, but I haven't seen or heard them of being in any larger stores like maybe a Saks Fifth or Nordstrom's or Barney's, if those are still around. They're not here on the East Coast that I know of anymore. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful company. Great new release. This is something, again, if you're into the category of rose, oud, and saffron fragrances, this is absolutely a must try. I think it's one of their best works so far. I would have to re-rank the House of Argos now, which it's a fun thing to do when they release new fragrances. But for me, I would probably say this is automatically in my top 5. And that's really just because of how close that rose, oud, and saffron category is to my heart. Other people may not feel that same way, but for me, even after wearing this one time, this is probably going to sneak its way into my top 5 because it really is that good. The quality, the blending, the wearability, it's still unique and complex. After wearing it only one day, the lasting power, X-Straight perfume, it stayed on my skin for over 24 hours, and I could even smell it in the shower the next morning. So very powerful stuff, very good development on the fragrance. So between the top notes, the middle and heart notes, and then the base notes, you do get some good transitions in there. It is not a linear fragrance at all, so can't speak highly enough about this. Hope you get a chance to try it. Sorry it's been a while, but it's just been a very, very busy time of year for me. Got some new videos coming up. Again, I'll probably re-rank the whole House of Argos after reviewing this new fragrance here, Perseus Triumphant. Then I got a video on the House of Boadicea and a top 10 from the House of Boadicea, and ordered some more stuff from Al Sharif. So I actually have more stuff coming in that I've been able to review. So I do have a lot upcoming for the channel. It's just, me having to get around to do it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the fragrance. Amazing stuff. And I'll see you guys soon.